Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner. It is Wednesday the 27th of March. This version is brought to you from my home office while I'm gearing up for the Easter holidays. But I will be here tomorrow and bring a late Easter version for you guys. Let's start today with Tesla. Tesla tested the lower part of the gap range here, 184.5. Spike just to touch it, but the body gap is 183 around that level. So that was not good for Tesla investors, and it seems like I think we will see a move lower in the coming days. Otherwise, it really needs to close this gap, i.e., it needs to close above 188.14 for some upside momentum. I'll do an update on Tesla, Apple, and Nvidia later today. On the general US market, we had S&P 500, and let's zoom in a little bit here on the daily chart. We can see it closed this little gap it created here a couple of days ago, late last week. That can again be an indication we are in a top, but we are still still not confirmed that there is divergence on the RSI. We are very stretched, and we have been that for a very long time. It can't go on forever. Either we really need to see a massive push higher, or we need a correction. I lean to the latter. I think we will see a correction. How big and deep it will be, it is of course still up in the air. But at least we need to break the low rising trend line here before we can have any idea what is really going on. Then we have support at 5,057 that it should be observed, and that's a little bit away. The Nasdaq 100, well, the top and reversal pattern, the bearish engulfing still in place. Could be testing this rising trend line. It actually did a couple of weeks ago, but the key support 17,808 is the key level to look out for. European markets, on the other hand, has been faring much better than, and still doing much better than, the US markets, trending higher with new higher highs almost every day. Here we have the EUROSTOXX 50 above its rising trend line, a steep rising channel here. The gap did hold, so for now it seems like we are pushing towards the 5,100. DAX, very interesting development here. Yesterday the RSI actually closed higher than the previous high, cancelling the divergence, indicating we could see higher levels on DAX. So 18,500. Can we get to 19? Of course, that's difficult to say how high it will move or how much it will be moving, but it is on the uptrend, and we should stick to that and trust the trend for now. AX also higher, key support 872, CAC 40. Can't really get its mojo together. It needs to close above, and let's just do a horizontal line there so we can better see it. 8,829 at break above that, and to be confirmed that close higher, then we are on course to higher levels. But for now, it is just trading sideways. Finally, the Swiss market. We have the Swiss market. I think we will see a test of the 11,800, and I also think we will see a break higher. And why is that? Because the RSI is in positive sentiment. There's no divergence, meaning this peak here corresponds nicely with the peak over here. So we should see a move higher, and we could do a little bit of Fibonacci just to give an idea how much it could move after a possible break or likely break higher. Well, 12,000 could be within reach. But again, keep an eye on 11,536. That is the support. If it breaks below that level, well, then we are looking at 11,345 possibly. Moving on to the FX market, euro dollar. Well, it couldn't really push to. Oh, sorry about that. It couldn't really push to above the 108.70, which is the 38.2 retracement right there. I think we could see it being stuck range bound for a little while. What is interesting is also that we have the 55 moving average declining. We actually have the 200 moving average declining. also. So if the 55 is dropping below the 200 and they're both declining, that can put a pressure on your dollar to test the 108, 107.96 key support area once again and possibly break it. So that will be interesting here the next few days going into next week. We have the 100 also slightly stalling a little bit here. So in next few days could be really interesting for your dollar. Can it actually break higher, or will it slide lower and take out the 108 support area? We have cable also struggling a little bit for upside momentum after bouncing off 125.75, 126 key support there. Still some conflict between the moving averages. We have the RSI a little bit struggling here. It actually dipped below 40 there. So we are to the weaker side, and it was actually a lower close a couple of days ago than over here at the beginning of March. So we are technically in a little bit of a downtrend. Let's see the next couple of days. If we have another move taking out these levels here, we could see a sell-off down to around 125 fairly soon. Also 55 moving at 21 and starting to tipping over. So keep an eye on those levels there. Dollar yen testing 151.94, 95 previous peak. Spiked just a little bit above, so we are actually in a higher level. We haven't seen these levels since 1990. So really interesting times for dollar yen. Can it push higher? Can it really break it? Close above also would be a confirmation. RSI supporting the bullish view, but it's not really convincing. But there should be room up to 153.5 around that level if it can actually close above the previous peak there. Euro yen, I would say sideways in an uptrend. A little bit of divergence on the RSI. These lows here are a little bit lower than over here, but we are still in an uptrend. Look out for a range between 165.35 and 163.30. That is the breakout you need for direction. Also yen, not really much to say. Also a little bit range bound after this top and reversal pattern here. Key support at 98.20. Moving on to dollar Canada, really not much to say there either, but I think we will see a push this morning. We can see it's slowly testing, pushing higher. 136.25 is the level to look out for. If it's breaking above that, then we're looking at 135.45, which is 786 retracement. Swiss market is on the Swiss franc is on the move again, and we have EURUSD pushing higher this morning, above 97.75. Now also above 98. And if we have a look at the weekly chart, we can see what is really going on. It is really some key areas here. Zooming in a little bit, and what I will do, I will also say, okay, let's see these peaks here from back here in Q2 last year. They are now in play. 98.40.42 is the next key resistance, up to around 98.63, as you can see here on the daily. So could spike up to that level, and then we maybe should have a bit of correction. But we are at a really strong resistance area. Dollar Swiss also pushing higher, actually above the 90.5, 90.47 resistance. I think we could see a spike up to 91, and then maybe a sell-off or correction could be hitting the dollar Swiss market. Finally, on the dollar index, 104.24 is still the key resistance to look out for. Could push it higher here, especially if your dollar is sliding back and we have dollar yen moving higher. Well, then we could see a test of this 104.24 level. We are at 104.32. We have the 786 retracement. If it's broken, then we're looking at previous peaks here at 104.88. Gold spiked above the resistance at 21.95 yesterday, touching 2200 just about, and then it collapsed again. And that is the key level. Check out my update yesterday on gold from yesterday morning, where I said we need a close above 21.95, otherwise it can't really follow through, and we could be stuck range bound between the key support here at 21.46 and the 2200, possibly also spiking towards a little bit higher, but we really need a close above here for further upside on gold. Silver sliding a little bit lower, and there is a possibility it could dip down to the 61.8 retracement at 23.60, where we also have some strong resistance here at 23.5. It is not unlikely, but as you can see, the moving averages are all ascending, and we have the 55 actually pushing above the 200 at the moment. So underlying trend is bullish. But moving on to some other more interesting movements, but we'll take copper just touch upon copper a little bit first. Here you can also see it slightly lower, and I think we'll test the 395, which is the 61.8 retracement of this leg up here, and then we could see a bounce. But again, don't be surprised if it's dipped all the way down to 389. However, the overall uptrend will still be intact. But then let's have a look at cocoa, what happened yesterday. There's been so much talk about cocoa lately, and it has moved to, you know, all-time highs, and it's gone almost parabolic. But yesterday it spiked above 10,000 and then it collapsed. That could be the top. I'm not saying it is, but it could be the top. If we get a negative candle today also, I think we could see a sell-off, a massive sell-off. So we do have some support around the correction level here, around the 8,500, around just below 8,000. That was a little bit of a consolidation before the last leg higher. And what is actually interesting is we can probably also see some Fibonacci level actually shooting higher there. So it is really stretched, and there's divergence on the RSI. So let's see. I think that was the peak for cocoa for now. Not much to say on the oil market. It is sliding a little bit lower, but if we just have a very snap view or a quick view at the WTI, you can see just trading sideways, but we are still in an uptrend on the overall market. Finally, the US 10-year yields also trading sideways, caught in this range between 420 and a little bit lower than that, 418, 415. I think we'll be caught here range bound in between this and that level and up to 435. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Have a trading. Talk to you again tomorrow.